you have panelists, you have a QS, you have a web technologist, you have a medical doctor, and next is going to be a colonel. And here I am, a librarian who's going to talk about knowledge management here. Okay, now, I didn't know when we started back in 2013 what this KM is going to be like, you know. And there was when I came here this morning, and Kelvin was asking me, Azlan, what happened to you? I said, what? Look at you. What happened to you? From black, within a year, I turned to grey. This is what KM did to me. You see? Okay, now I have your attention. We shall begin. Now, when we began, back in 2012, we embarked on the journey, you know. Oops. When we implemented the system we started with was the explicit knowledge portal, actually. You see? So what the management wanted then, back then, it was more on for us to access all those documents created by within the organization, you see. Imagine, we have 35 divisions in MIDA. We have 22 overseas centers and 12 state offices. It not only within, but across. So all those data, those documents, they are stored individually. So the management wants us to collect, compile, and harvest to distribute to all, you see. So, and also at the same time, they wish to have a model that we can access at 24/7. We approach KM Connection because we believe, you see, that their product has a very strong foundation and it met our requirements actually. So when we began the explicit knowledge, this was the easy part actually. It was just a matter of gathering, getting all those taxonomy, the metadatas. We took some from the Dublin core, but not all the 15 elements. See, because we understand those that contribute all these documents, they are not going to fill all those 15 inside. So we try to minimize them to right up to just 5. So it was just nice for them. Okay, so after we did all this explicit, then we decided that this was not enough, you see. We need to gather all those tacit knowledge actually from there. So from explicit, we jumped into tacit, you see. So we started a pilot project back in April, in 2014 actually. And so we gave a target up to October actually, but now it has been extended, sorry Gita, up to December on this. So we were very fortunate actually because our top management were very supportive on this matter, you see. So even recently, we had a brainstorming retreat in Polixon where the top management talked about this. So we are fortunate in this case. So this KM on this tacit knowledge is more about the knowledge sharing that we are going to embark. So when we started, since it's a pilot project, we only select 10 divisions from there. And all in the 10, the officers were from the senior level management. There were the 48s, the 52s, and the 54s, you see. But you have no idea what we went through with all these senior officers. Why? These are busy people. You are trying to get them into a room, and it's so difficult. You can imagine what we have to go through. Now, there are two things here that I want to mention to you. Is the environment. It's not conducive to hold it within your organization. Why? This is a problem. You can ask them to make this into vibration, but it still will disturb them. Put them to off or silence. Because when you held these brainstorming sessions for them, it takes a whole day and it's mentally exhausting. So in between, when they get interference, now that's a problem. Why they lose their train of thoughts? That is a factor that you have to remember about this. Okay, next. Now, next we have this problem on how we want to capture this knowledge. How are we going to go about? We went through a lot of models, the Saki models, whatever models you can call it. But frankly, you had to come down with a customized one on your own. There were a lot of accidents along the way. Jita knows best about this that we went through. So, finally, after 7 brainstorming sessions, you imagine, why 7? Because this is a pilot project, you have to bear in mind. So, with these 7, and in between all those 7 brainstorming, we had endless of meetings with the task force, with the KCoNNect14. We had, to filter all those tacit knowledge that came through, analyze them, and finally come up with those results in the end. And then we had to build the tree, this knowledge tree, Now, how do we go about? Now, this is where the taxonomy comes in, you see, when we had to build this knowledge tree. When we started up this pilot project, we had this ambition of having more than one domain. But what JKR had, they had 5 domains. We couldn't even get more than one domain. We wanted 3 actually. We wanted this industry domain, we wanted the services domain and a general domain. But we found out we couldn't cope with 10 divisions, you just can't do it. So eventually we just had one that was an investment promotion one. So from the domain, we create a category. Then from the category, we went to the subcategory, then finally into the keywords. You see? So that is the hierarchy that we went through, how to get all those unstructured data into a structured data. As you can see on the tree, the fruits there, they are color-coded, so to identify them from there. Now, this is where we are actually at this stage. We are now in the midst of the process of meeting with those various divisions to get feedbacks on these knowledge trees, what we are doing. Eventually, we will go into the forum where we'll create the e-books type whereby this knowledge will be of use to all of them. Okay, I didn't know I was that long. Okay, now to sum it up here, what we did was that we meet with all the officers from all those divisions, and then we filter and build. And in between all those endless meetings, we try to analyze, validate, classify all this into subject areas. And then finally, what we are doing in the final stage is that we try to amplify that to all. That is, you have seen on the knowledge tree itself. Okay? This is the one I'm talking about. So since I don't have much time, probably you may join me on the coffee table for the knowledge cafe session.